TSN Director of Scouting, Craig Button. Thank you, Craig, for joining us. Sorry about the technical issues there, but thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us here tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure. Hey, listen, you have problems, you got to find solutions.
Great. Well, you were just at the 2023 World Junior Hockey Championships. It was a memorable tournament for a number of reasons. Us here in Moose Jaw, we were following along with Martin Rysavy with Czechia and Robert Backo with Slovakia. But what was it like to be at that tournament and just take that all in as that tournament played out?
It was phenomenal. The environment was great. You know, the enthusiasm for the tournament and the support for the tournament was fantastic. And when you get onto the ice, you know, I think Czechia and Slovakia doing well as they did was just great for tournaments with just 4 teams thinking that they can win a gold medal or compete for a gold medal. So the fact is that Slovakia had a really great tournament, and Czechia obviously losing in the gold medal game in overtime had a fantastic tournament, and that's great for hockey. And you know Russia, like because of their 6-12 now. And Switzerland was good. Latvia was a really competitive team, but they couldn't score. So when you look at the 8 teams that were in the tournament, it was a really competitive tournament. It had its own twists and turns, but all in all, it's exactly what the tournament needed, both from the fan support and environment aspect, and also from the competitive on ice aspect. Just phenomenal. One of the best 3 World Junior tournaments I've ever been at.
It was exciting to watch, but the main reason we want to hear tonight is to talk about the 2023 NHL Draft. It's shaping up to be a very stellar class here from the Western Hockey League. Your latest Craigslist had 9 players from the WHL listed in that first round, led by Connor Bedard, obviously, but also Moose Jaw Warriors forward Brayden Yager shaping up in there. What makes this draft class so special here and so deep in the WHL?
Well, you know what's interesting about it is that when we looked ahead to the draft a couple of years ago, you could see how good these players were as 16-year-olds. And I'm talking as they entered the league in the bubble in that pandemic year. It was hard for them, but they stepped in. They got their taste of what the WHL was like. Then you're watching them last year, and there was no question that you could see that they all had unique talents, all high-end talents, and that that there was going to be a lot of scouting efforts spent in the Western Hockey League this coming season. And certainly, you look at the top score hockey league. I mean, I never had it today, but a few days ago, the top 5 scorers in the Western Hockey League were all first-time eligible players for the 2023 draft. I have never, ever seen that before in all my years of scouting, where the top 5 scorers in a league have been all draft eligible for the first time. So I think that speaks tremendously to the quality of player and to how talented these players are. The other thing that I would say is that when you look at them too, it's not just the number of players that are in the draft from the Western Hockey League. The quality is really high. Look at the Hlinka Gretzky team that dominated the tournament in August in Red Deer, and the number of players that were on that team and how well they played. These are players that, in my view, all project as top 2-line forwards, top 2-line offensive forwards. It's no accident what they're doing in the Western Hockey League is pretty significant. And I think when you look at their talents and you look at their potential, they can certainly carry that into the National Hockey League.
You have Brayden Yager at number 11. He can shoot, he can score, he can play that 200-foot game. But for you, what stands out about Brayden going into the draft?
Well, and the one thing I always feel I need to qualify this, I try to get the players into the right, what I call clusters. And Brayden falls into a cluster which I would say, goes from 5 to maybe 6 to 12 or 13. So we can debate whether Brayden is the 6th or the 9th or whatever. All I know is that when I watch Brayden play, he's a really well-rounded two-way center. He can make plays, he can shoot the puck, he can score. He's really good in his own end, already advanced. So when you're looking at trying to build a team, you're trying to add a player that has all those qualities of just really good, strong two-way play. I think Brayden Yager checks boxes that every NHL team would like. I mean, I think Brayden, like a lot of players in this draft, are so good. So it's not so much that is Brayden better than Andrew Crystal, who is better than Zach Benson, Riley Height, however you want to go at it. They're all different. They all add their own unique abilities and talents. And what you're assessing is who's the best one for you. And teams are going to have to make that judgment. But when you look at Brayden's overall game, it is a really strong two-way complete game. And, we're talking about somebody that's so young, and you think about how much room he has to continue to grow. I think that, you're looking at somebody that's going to have a long NHL career and a very successful NHL career individually. And for whatever team he's on, he'll help that team be successful. I don't think there's any doubt.
Another player we're watching here tonight, Tanner Mollendijk. What do you like about his game? What's the key to his game?
To me, he's so smart. He's just a settled player. He's a poised player. When you're playing when you're looking at players to go play in the National Hockey League, you can't be waiting for the play to present itself before you know what you're going to do. You have to anticipate what your next move is. When you get the puck, you have to know where you want to go with it. That's defensive, that's offensive, that's with the puck, that's without the puck. And when you watch Tanner play, he's just got such a fluidity in his thought process. And he makes the right plays, and he understands where the puck has to go. He understands where he has to go. When you talk about economy of effort, it's because his brain processing power is so strong. And, it's hard to measure mental effort. Mental effort allows players to always be in the right places, not to expend unnecessary physical effort. And I think that's Tanner's game. And when I look at Tanner, all I think about Tanner is everything he needs to work on is just developmental. And that's about strength, just becoming a little quicker, a little bit faster. And I think that he has all those qualities and has the ability to get better. But a really steady, smart, cerebral defenseman. And who doesn't want those on your blue line?
Definitely. We'll see those players along with Jackson Unger at the Top Prospects game coming up later this month. Thank you for joining us here tonight, Craig.
My pleasure to join you, and hopefully be in Moose Jaw here in the very near future and can join you in person.